It is now time to experience the buzz, a podcast that takes an inside look at amazing people doing amazing things. Get ready for some great conversation that will be fascinating, educational, and inspiring. We will also leave room to help small businesses in a big way. Now, here's your host, entrepreneur Steve Buzzard.
Hello, everyone. We have arrived. It is the 100th episode of Experience the Buzz. Welcome in. I am your host, Steve Buzzard. I am so glad you are here. We are very excited about today's episode. We are actually talking to a couple, Bruce and LORI Anapolsky, who I've known for years. They are celebrating, are you ready for this, their 100th anniversary of Julius Clothing. It's the finest clothing establishment here in Sacramento. And yes, they have been around for 100 years. We have got their story coming up in episode 100. I can't believe it. We got to triple digits. But right now, as we always do, it's time for What's the Buzz? So I'm excited to share a few things for you. First of all, the 100th episode goes without saying. Very excited. I wanted to let you know that coming up in the third segment of today's program, I ask you, stick around, because after the conversation, what I did is I reached out to the guests that we've had on the program that have been 1 through 100 and said, hey, could you just record a little video about your experience on Experience the Buzz? And if you want to say a thank you and all that good stuff, that is great. We've got a compilation of that we have put together that we're going to share with you. And we're actually going to kick the segment off with a letter that I am going to read from our number one listener. And I say that because her name is Dee Coughlin, and she has listened to every show. She always gives me feedback on every program on why she enjoyed it, gives me some tips, some constructive. Well, she hasn't criticized me at all, but if there's constructive criticism, if I'm going to get it from anyone, it would be from Dee. So I appreciate Dee, and we're going to read a letter. She didn't want to come on the podcast, which I totally understand. She just likes to listen. So we'll share that. So that's number one. That's going to be coming up in the third segment. Stick around for that. Number two, this is amazing. So we've introduced Heavy Metal Thunder, where I, preview or look at albums from the past and maybe new albums coming out. Okay. So we've done about 6 episodes of that. And then we started doing a thing called First Look. And First Look are videos, heavy metal videos that are taken from my producer and now listeners of the segment who say, check this one out. And literally they are videos I have never seen. I don't know the band. I don't know what's going on. It's literally a first look and my reaction. Folks, it has blown up. So I invite you to take a look. Even if you're not a fan of heavy metal, it's kind of fun. So you got the Heavy Metal Thunder, and then we have from Heavy Metal Thunder, First Look. And that's right here under the umbrella of Experience the Buzz. The crazy thing is we were in single digits on subscribers, and now we're already over 50. So you never know what is going to take hold. But of course, the crux of the meat of the matter of Experience the Buzz is definitely this program where we interview the guests that we have. Also want to share with you, just got done with auctioneering school. Very exciting adventure as I went to Montana. I've been an auctioneer for 10 years, but it's something I've wanted to do on my bucket list. And it was so great to be amongst others who are professional in that industry of auctioneering. I'm very fascinated with it, with my background in broadcasting. And so I'm looking forward to the next chapter of being an auctioneer. So if you need an auctioneer out there, hey, I'm available, and I would love to come your way as I look to up my game in the auctioneering business. Okay, so that is What's the Buzz. Very excited to now bring you our guest. It is Bruce and LORI Anapolsky from Julius Clothing, again, celebrating their 100-year anniversary. I hope you enjoy the conversation. Welcome in, everybody. It is, are you ready? The 100th episode of Experience the Buzz. Hard to believe we started this adventure back in January of 2021. Here we are in October of 2022, and I'm very excited because I'd like to say that I planned to talk to my next guest at this particular time, and I was going to eventually have them on the show, and they're on the show now, but here is the direct correlation. 100th episode, and we are visiting with Bruce and LORI Anapolsky of Julius Clothing, and you're not going to believe this. They are celebrating their 100th anniversary. That's right. Bruce is a third generation family member in this incredible business that has been a staple in Sacramento. So let's welcome our guests, Bruce and Lori. Welcome to Experience the Buzz.
Well, Steve, congratulations on your 100th, and we're so proud of our 100th. So it's a lot of fun we can do this together.
Go ahead, Lori.
Yes, thank you for having us on your show.
Yeah, thank you. So let's just get right to it. The fact that you celebrate 100 years, right? Like anniversaries are big. You know, your first year, you get through it. Maybe your 5th, your 10th, your 25th, your 50th. But when you get to 100 years of doing business in one city, that has got to be pretty special. And you guys are a part of that legacy. You can start wherever you want.
It's pretty amazing, and it's almost overwhelming to think about it, you know, because you go back to 1922 and it's like a different world, you know. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Julius started actually as a haberdasher. A haberdasher was because all he could afford to carry were hats and men's accessories. And that's what really the delineation or the name of what haberdasher means, basically. And then from there, it just continued to, you know, grow. And, you know, Julius always really stood for ultra high quality, whether it was domestic product or like 30 years ago when we started going to Italy to bring in beautiful products from Italy and France. And that's when the business really changed and kind of grew into a true luxury business. Is you know, really the most beautiful product in the world is from Europe in terms of clothing.
Yeah, there's so much to cover too, because let's talk about like where you're at right now, which is Loman's Plaza for people listening in.
Pavilions.
Oh my gosh. Okay, mistake made, but you know what? We're just going to roll with it. Pavilions. Thank you. I knew that, and I don't know why that was a slip.
Right.
580 Pavilions. Please tell me I'm not the first person to say that.
Yes, you are not. Exactly.
So let's talk about where you are at currently. You guys have been like the center of Pavilions and stuff, and that's not where you've been the whole time, because like you said, the origin of this is, you know, started with Grandfather down on K Street Mall. I didn't realize you guys are in Country Club Plaza, which is mind-blowing to me, because that was a place I used to go as a kid when I was growing up and stuff, and now you're in Pavilions and have been there, and you've been a staple, and it's like such a beautiful place that people get to come to, and the store that you have. And maybe Lori, you can speak to that, because I know you kind of joined the squad here and now you're part of the family business as well. You really have a great location here in Sacramento.
Yes, I agree. And I am the newest of the team at Julius. I started about 6 years ago full time, and our staff is amazing. When I say I'm the newest, we've had Pat's been there 40 years,
Yep.
June's been there 30, Gulai, our Taylor's been there 30 plus. And I also feel fortunate because it's such a unique opportunity to be able to carry brands that are really important for Sacramento to have. And the growth of Sacramento, we're seeing every day. And a lot of it's because the consistency with our buy, where we go to New York to buy twice a year. We know our client. We try to know our client and who we're buying for, and listen every day to what people want and have a gauge on sizing in the store. So that's really been, for the women's department, a huge key. And on the fact that we're all on board. And when we say family, we really get along because we're at the store so much like a team. And I think that shows. We want to help each other out, and really we're there for the clients.
Yeah, the fun part of this is I've known Bruce and Lori for a long time. So in a way, for me, it's almost surreal that you guys are in this world and have been in this world the way you are, because as I was doing my notes and realizing what goes into, you know, running a clothing store, a high-end clothing store, and our connection goes way back. Like, I mean, family, you talk about family, like your kids and everything. Your son grew up with my son, and then I've done barn bat mitzvahs for you guys. And of course, you know, Jill, we know. And I mean, that's what I love about Sacramento. So it's got to be a great feeling for you to be entrenched in a city where you haven't left. There's something about that, right? There's there's people in the world that move all over the place, whether they're military or what it might be, but there is something to be said about being in one place at one time for this long.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, you know the Sacramento community so well, Steve. I mean, you're a huge staple here on so many levels. And, you know, Sacramentans really support other Sacramentans.
I
There's a
agree.
great deal of pride. And even as the town grows as rapidly as it does, we really kind of cherish, you know, the roots of the city and, you know, the families that have been here for a long time and the loyalty. I mean, I can't tell you the amount of clients that have gone on to amazing success and have had, you know, travel all over the world, but they really still come back and do a great deal of their shopping with us. And it's pretty remarkable. And there is nothing wrong with being in a smaller market when you're in business. You know,
I love hearing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, and in between like Julius and you guys, I mean, we can't forget like mom and dad, right? Sam and Sharon.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm looking here, dad is 86, mom is 78.
Right.
I remember
Right.
we did an anniversary party in, I guess, the home that you guys had fashion shows. I mean,
Right.
a lot of is opening up. So let's talk about them, because when they came into the fold, they took what your grandfather did and almost like took it from here to here. And now you guys are taking it from here to here.
No question. You know, in fact, Julius was just a men's store, and my dating's bad, but it could be about 30 years ago. My mom was instrumental in terms of bringing women's business into Julius, which was a big deal, and they really transformed the store to how it looks today in terms of just having a global reach of beautiful inventory from wherever they need to have it from all over the world. And we have to remember, you know, 40 years ago when you were going to Italy to buy, that was really, you know, the world was much larger in those days. Now it's so small, people travel all over, you know, but in those days they really didn't. So bringing product in from Italy was really entrepreneurial. Absolutely.
And Lori, you want to add to that as well?
Yes, I think that you know, over the course of the few years when I started in the business, Sharon and I were doing the buy together. And it was really interesting to hear her input on designers and how Julius evolved in the women's department, because we went from some very high-end products and then slightly changed the direction when the economy changed. And we're still high-end, but not quite as it was years ago. So I think that just goes hand in hand again with the people we're helping, what we're hearing, the feedback from women, and it's all been really positive.
That's great. And so Bruce and Laura, I mean, I've just got to ask like how you guys got into the business, because when we're talking about family and family business, I'm kind of going through that right now with my kids. Like,
Yes.
Do you want to be a part of it? Do you not want to be a part of it? How was it for you, Bruce and Lori as well? Because as a couple, obviously you guys are a force. I know you kind of had a little window, Bruce, right? Like during that time, like, yeah, I'm not sure if I want to go in the family business, but eventually came back and here you are.
Yeah, I mean, it's this business is so fun because it's creative from a clothing standpoint. Obviously, it has a real business element to it. Inventory, controlling inventories, the numbers of running a business. It was interesting. A quick story. I was 18 years of age, was accepted to some colleges, and my dad sensed that, you know, I just maybe would like something different. He goes, I think I have an opportunity for you to go to New York and work for Calvin Klein. And this is at 17 years of age. So I went at 17 years of age to New York by myself and worked right in the heart of the business. And it was just you know, he had kind of really good vision in terms of what would work for me, and did that for a year and a half, and went to college in DC at George Washington. But during college, all 4 years, I worked at the best men's store in DC. So I always loved the business. And so by the time I was done with school, it felt like I had done a lot of stuff outside the store. So it was a natural transition. And then Lori, I'll let her speak to it, but she's has a pretty long resume in terms of retail.
Yes, so I have worked in retail since high school. And years ago, everybody worked in retail, which, you don't see as much today with the young people. And then when we had our twins, it was just the opportunity to stay home. And as they grew older and in high school, it was kind of a no-brainer to want to be part. I had kind of dabbled in some special events and some things at the store, but it was really time for me to just say, you know what, this is very important. and to take ownership of the women's department, the business with everyone. And it was great timing. Now, like, your children are part of your business a little bit. Isn't that correct? Your son?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know, our kids right now, they have some different interests, and the girls I know in Jordan, they all say they'd love to help out, and they have helped out a little bit, but I don't know if that's going to be what they're going to want to do for the future. It's really going to be like, with kids, their decision, and we'll see.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You don't force legacy, right? It's like and that's the thing. And I can tell, and I read a piece that was done in Comstock Media, which, by the way, was a great piece because it really gave a full picture of what you guys are all about. And admittedly, that's where I got a lot of my notes from, because I know you personally, but I didn't know the part of the business. And that is, with the family thing, it's like, you don't want to force it, but you guys are not putting yourself in a position where you're worrying about, right? Like, you're going to do this as long as you can because you guys love it. And if they eventually come along, great. If not, guess what? It's been a great run. Yeah. And then maybe you sell it off to someone who can keep it going. There's a lot of alternatives, but you don't need to worry about that right now.
Yes. No. Yeah. And that's how we look at it. And it makes, you're in a very similar situation. You've got a wonderful media business, and you just let it kind of happen organically, because you can't force anything like that. And we shouldn't do it to our children. I think that's the truth. That's the point.
I agree. Yeah. Let's reset. We got Bruce and LORI Anapolsky. They are with us from it's Pavilions, not what I said earlier, and I will not make that mistake again. Julius Clothing, celebrating 100 years of business here in Sacramento. And it's high-end clothing. And so, I've got a confession to make, because I remember months ago, I said, you know what? I am getting into Julius Clothing when I lose 20. I think I had this goal if I wanted to lose 20. And then, things kind of went to the sideways, right? And wasn't doing that. I am proud to say that I'm halfway to my goal and have not forgotten about you. Now, I know you're going to tell me, you know what, Steve, you can come in today. You don't have to wait until you lose the 20, but there's something about it. And the reason I'm saying that is because when you come into Julius Clothing, which I'm very excited to do, it's all about the experience. And I love when businesses use the word experience, because truly, I think that's what set, really good businesses away from just businesses that exist. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we cherish the fact that we run it, for lack of a better word, like a mom and pop. We really relish that, because what that really does is that means you're extremely close to the customer. All four salespeople, and I include LORI and I as two of them, we're all buyers. So everybody on the floor is buying for the people that they're helping, which is really unusual this day and age. And getting back to the experience side, it's like people come in and, come in your sweats. You don't have to dress up. This is about you. It's not about us. You're not trying to impress us. Come in as comfortable as you want to be. Come in, have a glass of wine or a Pellegrino, whatever it is. We're really a low key. Just because we sell beautiful product doesn't mean that the environment is a stuffy environment at all. And that's really what we work hard on, because when somebody walks in, it's about them. It's not about us,
Yeah, and I have to agree that when we have women come to the department and they're in their workout clothes, I say, hey, if it was my day off, I'd be in my workout clothes all day. If you go home and shower, you might not make it back into the store. But again, it's that personalized experience and wanting people to feel good. And you can tell right away when someone goes in the fitting room and comes out, if they're not smiling, we're not going to try to sell them. So that's just being honest and having people, because they'll come back. If they don't buy anything or they buy one thing, they'll be back for more, because they had that non-pressure.
That's exactly it. Customer service is key, right? And like you said, even if they don't buy something because of that encounter, they're going to think like, wow, okay, I will go back. And so I'm glad you guys pay very good attention to it. I wish all businesses did that. I mean, to me, it's a simple thing, but some people don't get it. It's weird.
Right. Yeah. And we're fortunate because we, the team has been together so long. So it's really seamless in terms of, nobody's anybody's exact customer. I mean, we work together,
And we have Gulai, our tailor. She's with us full time, and she really helps with special fit. Some people want something really tailored, and she makes it happen. And she's done things right away or usually in a week, but that's another complimentary gift that we give to clients.
Yes, and I want to reiterate this because this did blow me away. You've got Pat, who's been there for 44 years, June, who's been there for 39 years. You mentioned Gulai, 32 years. I mean, you don't see that in many businesses. So it's like you've had this team, but you had it for a long time. Can you speak to that? Because I'm sure there are a lot of people who said, boy, I wish I had that.
You know, it's really, truthfully, my mother and father, those are all people that they brought on board. And, you know, when I came over, we had a Ralph Lauren store for like 25 years before I went to Julius. So I came over about 15 years ago. And it was really just kind of don't mess up anything, you know. and it was, you know, easy because it was such a well-oiled machine. And I just wanted to kind of come in and work seamlessly. And truthfully, that's kind of the situation. So, you know, we really, there's not a lot of hierarchy, or there's very, very little to none in the store. So everybody, I think, has a sense of pride and ownership, you know, in the product and the store.
Yep, I agree. And the unique thing with June is June has worked in the men's department and the women's department, which is a great asset to us because she can go back and forth, which is great.
Yeah, the team aspect is there. And again, they're located in 580 Pavilions Lane. That's inside of Pavilions. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 6. Sunday, they are closed. And we mentioned at one time they were in Country Club Plaza, which again, that still blows my mind and stuff. And the polo, which explains, because I remember Jordan always wore polo. Now this makes sense, right? He was always well equipped and everything when he was friends with my son and stuff. So, you know, as we're talking about this, like, you know, what were the things that you took away from your grandfather, Julius, and then from your mom and dad? What were those key components that you took and now have built into what you are now as a store owner of Julius Clothing, you know, with carrying the legacy, but just kind of those bullet points that have helped you?
You know, obviously integrity, you know, and customer service and treating people right, treating employees, being honest. I mean, some simple things that we were all taught growing up. And if you just kind of execute those in life, you'll be okay. I mean, kind of think long term. The other thing is like quality. You know, if we are carrying a $90 t-shirt, we want it to be the greatest $90 t-shirt. If it's a $4,500 suit, it's going to be the most beautiful $4,500 suit. So there can be value at all levels of price points. And I think what's the exciting challenge of our business is just looking for those things, always looking to adjust the assortment to keep it fresh, new, and of the highest quality and value, you know.
Yeah. And Lori?
I agree. When we go to market, we're always talking about what did that client say? What does she want to see more of? What is the trend? Because even though our woman is very classic, she also wants to be current, and sizing is very important. So that all is part of the process. And Sharon was a great influence with the buy and really gave me a lot of knowledge of the trips, of how to, you know, make the appointments and show up to the appointments and make it successful as it can be.
Well, what if I told you that is just the first part of this conversation? We have so much more to uncover. I'm very curious about like the trips, like you said, to Europe and New York and kind of what goes into that, about staying up on the trends. I want to talk more about the experience because, you know, the average spend is $750. So I kind of want to get into that and stuff because in my mind, I had to admit, like that part when you said, hey, come in your sweatpants and stuff, like I was like, whew, you know, because it's a high-end thing. Pavilions is a high-end thing. And I want you to be able to speak to that because I think what you've done is you put me at ease now where I feel a little bit better. Not that I didn't feel like I could come in, but there's just something about that that Pavilions, I believe, offers in all their stores, their restaurants that they have there. And so we'll speak to that. It definitely is a staple in Sacramento. We're talking Julius Clothing. We're going to duck away for one break and acknowledge our sponsors. We got 4 of them, 4 amazing sponsors. And so when we come back, part 2 of this conversation, it's 100 and 100. That's right. 100th anniversary for Julius Clothing, 100th episode of Experience the Buzz. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this. All right, I hope you enjoyed that first segment there with Bruce and LORI Anapolsky. We got the second part of our conversation coming up very soon. Want to thank our sponsors in order: Matt the Mortgage Guy, Little Well Swim School, Pit Boss Jerky, and R5 Stitch and Print. Matt the Mortgage Guy. Speaking of Matt Gouget is his name. He goes by Matt the Mortgage Guy in his industry. He has a podcast as well. It's called Get Better Every Day. I was on episode 9. Check it out. I think he's got 13 in the bank. Just nice short conversations talking to people about how they get better every day. It's pretty simple. So check that out. He is, as far as his business is concerned, well, he takes care of loans. He takes care of people buying and selling houses and refinances, you name it. He's done it. In fact, he's national now. He's teamed up with U Mortgage. You can check them out at MTMG.com or call 916-802-9291. Also, check out Matt's YouTube channel. Very awesome. Again, we've said it many times, over 500 episodes, over 1 million viewers. So he's been in the game on the YouTube side. We mentioned the podcast. He's got it all going on, but he can help you. He helped my wife and I with a refinance, and also helped us lower our rates on our home insurance and our flood insurance. So right there, proof is positive. Matt the Mortgage Guy, check him out. Little Well Swim School. I know summer is done. We're in the fall, getting ready to move into winter. But the beautiful thing about Little Well Swim School, which is the premier swim school right here in Sacramento, it's year round. That's right. They've got beautiful indoor facilities, and they are located at 4106 El Camino Avenue right here in Sacramento near El Camino High School. Cannot miss them. They like to tell you it's always summer at Little Whale. So they got swim lessons for all ages. Primarily, they go with the kids because safety is a big thing of teaching kids how to swim so they don't drown, which is the number one cause for death, believe it or not, amongst young kids. So it's a pretty big deal at Little Whale. Great instructors. And again, classes for everyone, littlewhaleswim.com. They're all over social media, or you can call 916-790-5945. Next up, Pit Boss Jerky, best beef jerky. I've reached out to Joe Green. I said, man, it has been a while since I've had my hands on some great beef jerky. That's what it is. 13 different flavors, including one that is named right after the show. That's right. We got a flavor called Experience the Buzz. I love that one, along with Island Teriyaki, which is awesome. And then a raspberry apple chipotle, and the newest flavor, White Bull's Barbecue. That's only 4 of them. There's 9 other flavors, including a keto mix that you should check out. Again, that's Pit Boss Jerky. How do you get your hands on some? Well, he's in Amy's Hardware locally. They also do some of the, food markets around town, but you can actually get directly in contact with Joe at 916-769-6807. We like to call that the order board, and you can purchase your beef jerky from him directly. And then finally, R5 Stitch and Print, good friend Troy Rousey. Want to thank him. They specialize in screen printing and embroidery. You see this hat? He did it. Okay. So that's good stuff. He's done a lot of work for me. He is local, and he believes in local and wants to help you. They have a graphic design artist in place to help you as well. You can find them at r5print.com or call them at 916-454-3773. So there you have it. 4 great sponsors. And we're excited to get back to our conversation with Bruce and LORI Anapolsky right here on Experience the Buzz.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss an episode of Experience the Buzz by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. It means everything. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to Experience the Buzz. Big thank you once again to our sponsors making this show possible. We have done it. That's right. We've gotten to 100 episodes, and we're not stopping there. This show is very simple. It's an opportunity for me to have conversations with people that I've always wanted to have conversations with. In this case, with Bruce and LORI Anapolsky. We've been friends for a long time. Our kids have known each other. They've grown up with each other. I've DJ'd one of their daughter's bat mitzvahs. So it's like, this is pretty cool. And then within that, be able to highlight some of the great businesses that we have here in the capital city. And you heard Bruce speak to that about what it is to be a Sacramento, that we like to support each other. And I think that's well said. I hadn't heard it put that way before, but here we are in part 2 of our conversation, and Julius Clothing celebrating their 100th anniversary. Now, I know recently you guys were given the Legacy Business Burnett Award, which is pretty awesome, which I think is just honoring a great business here in Sacramento. Can you speak to that? That just recently took place.
Yeah, it was just a wonderful experience at the Sacramento History Museum, and we were honored with 4 or 5 other businesses. And, you know, Burnett Miller was a great Sacramentan, you know, and so it was just kind of, he really wanted to set up a legacy award for businesses like, you know, his, that carried on for many years and have been important to the community. So it was really nice. And we had everybody there. So family, it's just a great reason to get friends, clients, and family. And of course, the entire staff was there too. So it was fun.
Awesome. And Lori, I know you guys are modest, but is it like an Emmy Award where you take it and you just, you know, put it at the front desk or something?
Well, we have a beautiful plaque and frame that we're trying to find the perfect spot to feature at Julius.
Yeah.
There you go. Very good. Very good. So I am curious, because when you first came on the scene at Pavilions, like, what was that like? Like, we know what it is now, but I'm trying to think, like, how many years has Pavilions been around? You guys are one of the original stores there, correct?
Yeah, we were. And, you know, Sacramento was so much smaller. I mean, I think we're going back, it could be, 35 years. It's a long time. And it was a really big deal, you know, because Sacramento was so much smaller. Mm-hmm. Bob Powell brought in all these great brands, and you know, it was, you know, as big a deal as it is today, it maybe was bigger back then, just because it was such a small town, you know. And now what's happened is, you know, and it is I love what's happening in Sacramento. We are getting so many people from LA, San Francisco, big cities. And one thing that they bring is a level, an appetite for quality, whether it's in food and real estate or clothing, especially, and everything. You know, it's just, it's a more fresh people coming to town that have done very well outside in other parts of California and all over the country. So it's been great, actually. So and I think Pavilions has kind of helped spear that forward in terms of just quality of tenants and you know, stores.
Yeah. And Lori, obviously when people walk in, the reason you're going to know this information is because of the experience. It goes back to the experience. You're having these conversations like, where are you from? What brings you in today and stuff. So that's, you know, I was thinking in my head, do you ever get to a point where you're like, oh, are we out of touch? And I'm thinking there's no way you can be out of touch, because you're always having those conversations with the people to know what you need to have in the store.
Yeah. Exactly. I have to say, there are so many times people come in and say, wow, this is such a great store. Mm-hmm. I've always felt kind of intimidated to come in, and they leave really happy. And like, it goes on beyond just coming to the store. It's communicating with them about their families, or remembering about a birthday or their grandkids. And I think that is the uniqueness of our position, that we have that relationship with our clients.
Okay. And so that takes me to my story. So my biggest story was when I worked for the Sacramento Kings, and the Maloofs were the owners. You remember Joe and Gavin. One of their big things is they bought suits for everybody on the staff. Okay. And I'm like, okay, go to Men's Warehouse. No, we didn't go to Men's Warehouse. No, they brought in a tailor, and you had this full experience. They measured it, everything, and we got a nice Italian suit. And for me, at the age I think I was, you know, maybe late 20s, early 30s and stuff. This was a pretty big deal. Okay.
Sure.
And so, you know, just that experience, that's what we're talking about. That's the difference here of going to, you know, just a regular store, going in and stuff. With you guys, it's so much more. It does have the high end quality, but yet we still get that kind of, like you said, the mom and pop thing, which I think puts people at ease, because I have to admit, I fall in that category where I might be intimidated to come in, but there's no reason for that to happen. Correct? Right. Am I on the right path here?
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And you know, that's it. Just the reason that's so important is we want people to see how great the product is in the store. Yeah. And if people have a perception, it might not be accurate. And they're going, wow. I mean, we get it's daily. Somebody walks in, oh my God, I love everything what's here. I can't believe I haven't been here earlier. You guys are so nice. And I go, and this, the selection is remarkable, you know, for a small market, you know, like this.
Well,
absolutely.
And the customer service level is kind of common sense. Like, we have people that leave their dog outside and we're like, no, your dog can come in. And we have a handful of people that feel comfortable bringing their dog in the store. And same thing, offering food, coffee, drinks. It just is like when someone comes in your home, having that same relationship with somebody is you want to treat them as special as you can. And to me, that's common sense. And it's a no-brainer because
I love that.
It is a compliment that someone even walks through the store, whether they buy or not, having a nice conversation. And that's really the truth of how the business has grown, at least for myself.
Lori, I'm gonna quote that. Customer service is common sense. I love that. There it is, folks.
I've ever heard, Steve. That's the first time I've ever heard that from her. This is like this.
We are making history on this episode. I love it. I love it. So I am curious of like, what are the common things like for men and women? You guys can speak to it. What is the most common thing that someone, and I know you have different clients that, you know, want different things and stuff, but that common thing that someone comes into Julius Clothing that they're going to purchase?
Okay. Men, we do an amazing business in custom order. So still, even though guys aren't wearing suits to, you know, events, we do custom sportswear, custom suits, I mean, weddings, all that. So that's a really large part of the business. And it kind of surprises people because they'll walk in the store and they'll see just an amazing array of clothing. But we do have even bigger than all our inventory inside is what we do custom order in our various lines. And it's, you know, and then Lori can speak to women.
For women, it's usually they're looking for that pant that fits great, that classic black pant. And we might have 8 different styles. And then from there, it just builds. And we also have the capability of having trunk shows with a couple of our designers. And that's been huge because it gives someone the opportunity to see everything in the collection that we don't necessarily buy for our store. So some of the women's business is generated from the trunk shows, and we're finding people are looking forward, women look forward to coming to them. They want to know when they are, and our rep comes in from New York City and they get a chance to buy the line before anybody else gets to see it. And they're pre-ordering, and sizes, we have the expert, the rep, helping us. And that's been really a big drive to the women's business as well. But usually someone comes in for a pair of jeans or black pants, and then it just builds from there.
I love it. So the custom order for the men, okay, and then the black pant or the jeans for the women. I like that. That's great. That is great. So tell me about these trips, because that was the thing that like I was like, wow, that's got to be real exciting. Talk about adventure, right? Of being able to go to New York and, like you said, Europe. And that's the thing. We need to reiterate that, Bruce, you've been immersed in this since you've come out of high school. Like you said, your dad sent you to New York. You were working for Calvin Klein. So you were in it. But these trips, I'm so fascinated by this, about what that process is all about.
You know, as the business has changed a lot. So to get the product that we needed to, when my dad, and especially Pat was going to Italy for a month at a time when he was in his late 20s, if you can believe that. You know, it was very entrepreneurial in those days. Now fashion is so global, and these big brands are so strong that they have a huge presence in New York. So probably about 80%, 90% of our buy is done in New York City. So you know, with the women's and men's is just 2 separate markets. And then you really kind of just spend, you know, weeks planning your trip on who you want to see, when you want to see them, what new vendors you want to see. And it's really kind of the exciting part of the business. And it's amazing. You can, you know, one little appointment can lead to being your most important line, you know, and I can't tell you how many times that's happened. It's like, oh, let's just go see them. Maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't. And then you look 5 years later, that's the #1 line in the store. And if you just hadn't made that extra little effort to discover them, it would have never happened, you know?
Yeah. And Lori, I'm sure you love to travel and look at clothes.
It's a pretty intense trip, to be honest, because we are having 3 appointments a day. And even though it doesn't sound like much, it is, because we're going through it. We're writing notes, we're taking pictures of every single thing we like. And then we come back and size it. But that trip is really for June and I a working trip where we don't think about anything else but our clients, the clothing, the sizes. But I have to say, to see it in person and feel the fabrics and see the garments is huge. During COVID, we were doing everything on Zoom, and it got to be a little tricky. But what was nice is the vendors, we got to switch out merchandise, and we were still, doing well at the store, even though everything was bought on Zoom at that time. So I have to say, this last trip was probably our first trip back to New York. And in New York, we can see everybody, all the designers we carry in the women's department. So that's just a huge plus to see it in person, feel it, and just say, is that something, what we're going to have for our client? So it's really important to be there in New York and see everybody and have the appointment set, because you might spend 2 hours with a designer.
Yeah, I'm always fascinated because when I watch my wife and we're in a clothing store, I mean, she can go for hours. But me, I just like to step in and just like, that's what I want. I'm getting them out of here. I know men and women think differently. So Bruce, you have to be a rare breed because you probably have to do the thumbing through the clothes, don't you?
Yeah. And you know what? We buy just like, we're making decisions just like when you walk in a store really quickly. You kind of go, boom, you like what you like, and it's your first impression and you go with it. And a lot of the pre-planning is all the numbers and stuff. But when you are in the showroom, you are really acting like a customer, just like when you walk into a store. So and you don't want to lose that energy or that innocence. You want to go in there and just find great stuff, and that's what makes it exciting.
So what were the early brands that you have? And I know you've kind of branched out. So it's a 2-part question. The early brands that you have, and then what goes into you making the decision to, like you said, introduce a new brand? Because that's got to be a big deal when you're kind of like set with what you have, which represents Julius Clothing, but you also have to have the forethought, like you said, to maybe see trends ahead of when the trends happen and then putting something brand new in the store.
Yes, for women's, it's really about what is current and also quality. We just brought on a new cashmere line, and sometimes it's feedback from our clients, what they're wearing, and seeing something on someone and then looking it up and saying, hey, that would be great for our store. If multiple clients have it, but they're buying it somewhere else, maybe in Carmel or LA. And that's been very instrumental in who we bring in new. I can't really talk about, 6-7 years back because my mother-in-law did the buy. But I think back then it was Armani, Donna Karan, and some lines that you don't even really see now. So I think that just having who we have in the store is based upon what our clients are kind of asking for. And again, the quality of the garments.
Okay. And Bruce, you want to add anything to that on the men's side?
Our one line is Hermangilda Xenia. We were one of, and they're a huge global company, really amazing product. And we were one of the first accounts in the United States. And we still are one of the, and we still, when we do a trunk show, we are one of the #1 trunk shows in the country, even compared to, the Texas and the New Yorks. And we just brought in a brand new line, Brunello Cucinelli, which is really one of the most luxury brands in the world. And a lot of it has to do with Sacramento's growing quickly. And these people coming from outside really understand and appreciate some of the beautiful product that they've been exposed to in these other major cities. So it's like Lori said, is we'll get ideas from clients. They'll come in, tell us. We're not too proud to listen and understand. Hey, let me go. I want to go see it. If you like it, I want to go see what it's about. And we bought lines like that too. I mean, they've been to somebody. Look at this, or we watched. I remember one of our best women's lines. A client walked in the coat. We go, gosh, that's just an amazing coat. Tell us about it. And and boom, a year later we had it in the store, and it's one of our #1, lines.
Cool.
So you just got to be open to everything.
Yeah.
Well,
and I think women like to share their experience and share what they're wearing and how much they like it. And like Bruce said, a coat line that we carry now was hugely popular with some of our clients. And now we brought in a workout kind of athletic line that was also mentioned from maybe 4 of our clients, and we can't even keep it in stock. It's just one of those brands that it's tried and true with these women, and it's almost like a home run. You know, it's going to do well when your key clients say, I love this, I travel in it. And it just is like, wow, we get it in, and it holds true to what they have said.
Another cornerstone of great business, listen to your clients, right?
Yeah.
They're part of what make you successful. And you guys are doing that so wonderfully. Can't say it enough. 100 years of Julius Clothing here in Sacramento. Now, you mentioned the word COVID. So I am curious. I always ask businesses, like, instead of like going, I guess, through the whole experience kind of thing, maybe like what was your biggest takeaway, like what you learned from that? Because we know that everything obviously went to Zoom, went online. And of course you have the battle with everybody ordering online, Amazon, you know, you name it, everybody's ordering online. So you've got to compete with that. But we always know that if we're going to go into Julius Clothing, yeah, we can buy the clothes probably online. Yeah, no doubt about it. But then we miss the experience. And I'm guessing it goes back to the experience, but let me know what was the biggest takeaway from COVID that you guys learned that either helped you or just maybe just kind of changed how you thought about things?
Well, COVID, if anything, with the women's department, it helped us because women were shopping online. They're getting products. They didn't like how the fit was. They just couldn't see it, feel it, touch it. And even though it's easy to send something back, I would say they were calling us. We had some private appointments in the store. And we're open to meeting people. And because travel was shut down, women wanted to feel good and they were doing things outside. And I feel like if anything for the women's department, it helped us really feel good about having our store and the personal experience because they missed it.
Interesting.
And
Yeah.
the joggers, the sweatpants. So when things kind of started opening up, they were anxious to get in and shop and buy and be feeling like they're dressed again. It's a whole feel good experience.
Okay. Bruce?
Yeah, it was not fun.
You know what? I appreciate the honesty.
people were not dressing up and they were not going out. So, I mean, it was like, you know, to be perfectly transparent, we were off 50% and we were delighted. It was only that much during that 1 year. You know, when you come out of anything that's difficult, if you survive it, and this is just what I tell any business, if you could just survive it, you're going to come out so much stronger on the other side because a lot of people don't. And so you just put your head down and the difficult times, you know, they will get better and you just persevere. And sure enough, you know, it's gotten a lot better and people are traveling and doing stuff and they appreciate personal experiences. I think that's the biggest thing is they understood. It's just like, wow, interaction with people and walking in and having somebody take care of you and buying a product and having it altered and walking out with it. It's a lot of work to do that online sometimes. And certain people love it, a lot don't. And so that's why it works well for us.
Which bridges into the social media part, right? A website, social media. Like how do you guys approach that? Are you guys in charge of that? Do you have someone who takes care of that? Because that's another layer like of marketing, right? That you got to take care of. And you're either a tech person or you're not a tech person.
Steve, it's so funny you bring that up because it's really tough to do it on your own because it's a total discipline. So we have a full-time social media person on staff, and it has helped a lot because, you know, for any small business, it's easy to do for 2 weeks. It's tough to do for 52 weeks.
Right.
And you're an expert in this arena, and it's
consistency.
That's exactly. And now we have that.
And we have that.
That's key. It's very important. And for a while I was trying to do some postings and it's really making sure it's staying the same consistency over and over again. And it really has helped us quite a bit. I mean, it's amazing. Instagram, I'm not on Facebook personally, but Instagram gets a lot of women and they're buying the women's clothes and the men's clothes. So that has been really helpful. Quite a bit.
Free advertising. I'm telling you, if you do it right, it can be well done. How about the website too? Like What, yes or no, kind of on the website? Because I know people think differently. Like, to me, website for me is the hub, and then
Right.
I use Instagram because the one thing I learned too is you got to pick your lane, right? Because you can go TikTok, you can go Facebook, you can go
Right.
Instagram. There's so many, but how do you cover all? And then it gets overwhelming. So I picked my lane, Instagram. I'm just Instagram. You just said it. You're not Facebook. You're just
Right.
Instagram. But the website is important. Is it as important for you guys with the website?
You know, it used to be, websites used to be so much more important pre-Instagram, pre-Facebook, because that was the identity. Now I don't think the customer, the person is going, I think they go there to see the store, see your lines, and maybe directions, you know, and a phone number. But in terms of really the identity of the store, I think it's, at least for us, through Instagram, and, you know, we are on Facebook as well, but it's and we don't sell on, you know, it's a lot of work to sell online, and some stores have done it really well. We just aren't set up for that.
That's okay. You're picking your lane, and see, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right,
Like, you explore it, and you're saying, does this fit what we want? If
Sure.
it doesn't, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Right.
So that leads me to, what is the future of Julius Clothing? I mean, you know, looking beyond, you know, like, what things are you looking for in the future with this company that has been running strong for 100 years?
Yeah, a lot of just continue to what we do, you know, are currently doing, and we're really always, the innovation is constantly with our assortments, you know, so that's where we put so much time and effort into it. Obviously, having a great location, Pavilions is still, I think, the premier shopping experience. So we're really fortunate we just signed a 10-year lease that just started. So
awesome.
We're going to be there for a long time. We love it there. And so, you know, I mean, we're a small little business, just keep doing what we're doing, and trying to, you know, really take care of our clients.
Lori?
I feel very positive. I've just seen the growth tremendously just this past year, and it's really exciting. I have to say, just the brands we're carrying, the people that are coming in, the new people that are coming in, it just feels like it's a ball that keeps going. It's not stopping. So I'm excited to see that and be part of it. And we're just gonna ride the wave and keep continuing doing what we're doing.
I absolutely love it. Now, I know you guys are very humble, but I have to ask, because I know a lot of important people come through the doors of Julius Clothing. Are there any, like, you know, stories or people that you can share with us that have come through that have been unique experiences that you guys have had?
Okay. So, you know, just because the most unique experience we've ever had was, we got a call and Mike Tyson was in town. Okay. Yeah, crazy story.
Wow.
So Mike Tyson was in town. His people call up before and they say, he's coming in. All of a sudden, his security detail is outside the store. We still don't really believe Mike Tyson's coming to town. So we have all the security. We don't know quite what's going on. And sure enough, he was meeting with at the Capitol with Maxine Waters. And sure enough, we were fitting Mike Tyson for an emergency suit and selling ties to Don King.
Oh,
and you look back at the time, it was kind of like really cool. 20 years later, it's like, wow, that was like something else. You know, I mean, having Don King, you know, just those two iconic, you're such a sports fan.
Right.
We've had a lot of amazing experiences. I mean, NBA players from, you know, all from every team. But, you know, in terms of, you know, that was probably one of the more unique experiences.
Okay.
You know,
I love that.
At Mike Tyson's heyday, you know, right. Yeah.
Cool. Now, Lori, I know you've only been in the 6.5 years, but I'm sure, do you have one?
For me personally, Steve, is that the women that come in are working at the Capitol or on that social media platform and news companies, and they come in and they're a normal size person, that the philanthropy work they do within also holding down big career jobs.
Yeah.
And they're so nice. That has been really amazing for me to see, that the normalcy with these women that are really high powered women in Sacramento, that it's mind boggling that they keep giving back to the community and doing things in addition to their jobs. And they want to look good. They want to feel good. They don't, you know, they're in their 50s. They have different bodies than a 20-year-old, and they want to leave the store and feel great and have their outfits lined up, what they're going to wear to certain events. And that's been, I haven't seen any really celebrities, just the local celebrities in Sacramento that we all
No, look,
know.
we've got celebrities in Sacramento.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay, so the good news is I have gone from, slightly intimidated. And the only reason I'm not intimidated on a high degree is because I know you guys. Okay, so I take that out of the equation and stuff.
Right.
But now I'm excited. I'm excited to come through the doors because I just got back from auctioneering school. So the first thing I thought of is I need a good sport jacket, just good sport coat. And so I want to come to you. I want to support you and stuff. And I am the person saying, Steve, why didn't you go in earlier? But I always believe that things are meant to be this conversation to celebrate 100 on both sides. And now I get to come through the doors of Julius Clothing and buy that sport coat. I look forward to that experience. You guys, this has been an amazing conversation. And I appreciate that you guys opened up and shared, this great legacy of Julius Clothing.
Thank you. And congratulations to you as well.
Yeah, that's
great. And the store will love to see you.
Yes.
We daily hear nice compliments.
Everybody loves Steve Buzzard.
Yeah.
Everybody Exactly.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you guys. This has been a great conversation. Again, Bruce and LORI Anapolsky. We're going to put all the information down in the show notes. I encourage you. They said it. Listen, you just walk through the doors and let the experience take care of itself because there is something to that personal experience, especially when you want to feel good in clothes, men and women and everybody. I mean, that's good stuff. So there you go. The 100th episode for the 100th anniversary of Julius Clothing. This has been Experience the Buzz. We're going to take a break and then we have a special segment lined up for you where we've got videos from past guests that have been on the program and they're just going to give shout outs. I don't even know what they're going to say. It's going to be great. And I have a letter to read from our #1 listener. Her name is Dee Coughlin. It is pretty cool. She has listened to every single episode. She always gives me an update afterwards. And so I'm grateful for that. So for Bruce and LORI Anapolsky, we'll take this break and come back with more right here on Experience the Buzz. What an amazing conversation with Bruce and LORI Anapolsky. And again, I cannot wait to walk through the doors. I'm not intimidated anymore. You had heard that I said the average, price of sale is $750. And I'm ready to go buy my sport coat from Bruce and LORI and enjoy that Julius Clothing experience. I hope you will do the same. And so we want to acknowledge our sponsors once again, because like Julius Clothing, Sacramento takes care of Sacramento. And so if you're a small business, it's go small business with people that are locals right here in the 916. Big thank you to R5 Stitch and Print, Pit Boss Jerky, Little Whale Swim School, and Matt the Mortgage Guy. When you come on as a sponsor, you actually get your own program. That's right. We do a podcast where we get to find out your story because I think that only lends credence to what you are doing as a business. So for R5 Stitch and Print, Troy Rousey is the owner. He could be featured in episode 25. Joe Green of Pit Boss Jerky is in episode 26. Matt the Mortgage Guy is in episode 28. And Anya Hall is featured in episode 6. So I invite you to go back into the archives and check them out. Okay. It's a great stories leading to the business that they are in right now. So quickly for R5 Stitch and Print, screen printing and embroidery, that is their specialty, r5print.com, or you can go and call them at 916-454-3773. They've got graphic design artists in place to help you with all your needs. Pit Boss Jerky, basically, if you love beef jerky, you're going to want to dial up this number, 916-769-6807. That is the direct number of Joe Green, who is the Pit Boss Master. That's right. He is the one that comes up with all these creations, including one that's named after this program, Experience the Buzz. You can check out the others. There's Pepper Garlic, Pit Boss Original, Sweet Summer, Honey Gold, Sweet and Smoky, Little Heat, Urban Smoke, Big Heat, Keto Mix, Raspberry Apple Chipotle, Island Teriyaki. We mentioned Experience the Buzz and their latest flavor, Joe's Specialty, White Bulls Barbecue. All right. So again, 916-769-6807. Little Whale Swim School. They are doing swim lessons. They do them year round. It's a lot of fun. Specialty is kids, but they also have adult classes. They are found at 4106 El Camino Avenue, the premier swim school in the 916, littlewhaleswim.com, or call them at 916-790 5945. And finally, Matt Gouget, better known as Matt the Mortgage Guy, their website, MTMG. There we go, mattthemortgageguy.com or 916-802-9291. They will take care of all of your loan and refinance needs. They did it for my wife and I, and it was a success. So there you have it. Big thank you to our 4 sponsors who have been on this program. Experience the Buzz, celebrating its 100th episode. And right now, speaking of special segments, we're going to go into our final one where you're going to hear from some of our guests that have been 1 through 99, as well as a letter that I'm going to read to you from our number 1 listener, D. Coughlin. So stay tuned as it's coming to you right now.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss an episode of Experience the Buzz by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. It means everything. Now, back to the show.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Bruce and LORI Anapolsky. Pretty cool that we were able to honor their 100th anniversary on the 100th episode of Experience the Buzz. So a little segment that we wanted to put together was a couple of weeks ago, I started reaching out to the guests that have been on the program and simply asked them, hey, could you record a video that just talks about your experience of being a guest on Experience the Buzz? And if you want to add anything else, you can. Had them send the videos to my producer, Michael Kenobi. So that is what is going to be coming your way. Now, I have not seen any of these, even though some of them sent them to me. I just sent them directly to Michael. So I, like you, will be seeing them for the first time. But it's pretty cool to look back and see all the incredible guests that we have had on the program. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I wanted to kick off this segment by reading you a letter. One of the people I reached out to was not a guest, but she is the top listener. Her name is Dee Coughlin, and she and her kids went to the school that I taught at St. Michael's, and they're all grown up now and everything. But Dee is an avid runner, and she is an avid podcast listener. And so when I released my first episode, she would just give me feedback, and it was great. I loved it. It was encouraging to say, hey, keep this going. And I've always believed in any business that I've done that it only takes one to party. So I'm more referring to the DJ entertainment business. And if you can satisfy one, then you know what? That's okay. You're making a difference there. And so Dee has been great because she gives me feedback on all the episode. I believe she has listened to every episode. And so I asked her to come on and do a segment with me. And she's like, oh, a little reluctant to do that. But what she did do, and she agreed to, is that she wrote a letter. So I'm going to actually read you the letter that will then lead into the videos of the past guests that have been on the show to really celebrate today's 100th episode of Experience the Buzz. And so Dee wrote, and she said, I am honored to be a small part of your 100th episode. We first met when my kids were in kindergarten and 3rd grade at St. Michael's. They loved your PE classes, and I always stayed to hear you at Wednesday Chapel. Always a good message. Oh, that's very nice to start out. She said, I was excited when you announced you were starting a podcast. From the very first episode, I knew you were on to something. This was confirmed when I listened to episodes about baseball. That was Jeff Levering in episode 7, and golf, which featured Kevin and David Sutherland in episode 23. I don't even pay attention to either sport. Sorry, she said. And for me to listen to an hour and 50 minutes about golf, well, you're doing something right. And that's cool. I'm glad she got that because that was a big thing for me. It's like, oh man, are these too long? And I just realized they are conversations. Let's continue on. As Dee says, I've listened to every episode, so that is confirmed now, and I am hooked. I have been listening to podcasts for several years, and I am very selective in what I spend my time listening to, and your podcast immediately was in my top 3. Yeah! All right, I made the top 3. I almost always listen when I'm running and like the longer format of your episodes. The length also gives me more time to really learn about people and their story. For me, it is the way you genuinely connect with your guests, your enthusiasm, and of course, your great voice. Thank you. Trust me, some podcasts are unlistenable because of an annoying voice. I know what she's talking about. You ask great questions, and I feel like I learn a lot about each guest. I really enjoy learning things about people and the ins and outs of what they do. That's exactly what the show is all about. I love it. For example, episode 95 with Clive Savicool and his development of the Logo RX app, which I think is a great example, Dee, of using. She says, fascinating to me, and without learning about it on your podcast, I'd never know it existed. Also, episode 61 about hospice care. Not an easy subject, but I learned a lot. Some of my favorite episodes have been your faith journey, number 21. Thank you, Dee. I appreciate that. It isn't easy to be so vulnerable about faith, and you did it well. Episode 42 with Gary Gerald, so good. I've been a Kings fan for a long time. On a break from it after Grant was fired, she put in parentheses. So it was very fun to hear all his stories. She then followed up with episode 49 with Grant Napier. Good to hear his story. And good to hear the most recent favorites, which are 93 with Christina Mendonça and episode 97 with Deirdre Fitzpatrick. I listen to Christina Monday through Friday at 5 a.m. and it was great to learn more about her. All that said, my most favorite episodes are the ones you've done with your sons, which, man, that really got me right here when I read that. The back and forth between you is so much fun, and the love and respect you have for each other is palpable. I'm so glad you ventured into podcasting, and I hope you continue, which I will, for a long time, and maybe get back to posting more of them each week. So Dee is going back to the fact that I used to, when coming out of the gates, I posted 2 a week. We're down to 1 a week, but that could change, right? This is a journey. So I want to personally thank Dee across the podcast for being our top listener on the program. Thank you for your encouragement. Thank you for taking the time to write this. This really truly means a lot to me and confirms why I am doing the show. So with that said, we're now going to move into the videos. Here they are. I'm seeing them for the first time, just like you, of guests that have been on the program right here on Experience the Buzz. Enjoy.
Hey guys, it's Matt Gouget, Matt the Mortgage Guy, proud sponsor of the Experience the Buzz podcast. So proud and happy to be a sponsor. If you want to learn more about me personally, go check out episode 28, where me and Steve had some great conversation about current things I'm doing in my business. If you'd like to learn more about mortgage, go subscribe to Matt the Mortgage Guy on YouTube. I'm passionate about helping consumers, as you can see with 700 plus educational videos on the channel. If you're looking to purchase or refinance and want to connect with me and my team, we're more than happy to help. Team at mtmg.com or 916-802-9291. That is a textable line, so call or text that line. If you're out of state, if you're out of California, we can still help you. We can still write your loan. Go to greatmortgagebroker.com. My team will connect you with somebody in the state that you're looking to do something in. Thanks for watching. I appreciate the support. Back to the show.
Hi, Steve. It's Marie Kofer, your life coach and forever friend. I heard that you're about to record your 100th episode on your podcast, and I just wanted to take a minute to say congratulations. It was such a thrill to be featured as episode number 37 on your show, and I think that you do a really great service to our community by helping to highlight small business owners, and just wanted to celebrate you today. So thank you again, and congratulations. Good luck.
Hey Steve, Chris Meyer, episode 53 of Experience the Buzz. Thank you for having me on, and congratulations on your 100th episode. I think it's amazing, and obviously you're a natural at this. My favorite thing about Experience the Buzz is truly the sense of community and what it does for our community. It's so interesting to see what everyone does for a living or for a hobby. And I think it pulls us all closer together. So thank you for that. Here's to 100 more, and hopefully I'll get on the next 100 episodes. Take care.
What's up, Experience the Buzz? I'm Madison Kimball. I'm the owner and head strength and conditioning coach of PowerLux Fitness. We're a sports performance and strength and conditioning training center here in Sacramento. I was on episode number 67 with Mr. Buzzard. I've known him since I was a young girl at St. Michael's. So it was really cool being able to be on his podcast, highlighting my business, sharing how we started, what we're doing to grow, how we're trying to become the best sports performance facility in Sacramento to start, and then hopefully one day expand from there, be the best strength facility in general. So Mr. Buzzard is absolutely awesome, which you are all aware of if you listen to his podcast, follow him. And as a small business owner, it's so amazing having someone who's just there to help open doors, shine light, and just give you a microphone to help share your word, help share your business. So he's doing awesome things. On behalf of all small business owners, Mr. Buzzard, thank you so much.
Hey, what's up? I'm Eric Hasseltine. I was episode number 70 of Experience the Buzz. Congratulations, Steve, on 100 episodes. That's a tremendous accomplishment. I am the radio voice of the Memphis Grizzlies, but Steve and I were colleagues on UC Davis football for 3 seasons at KHTK. And the previous 3 seasons prior to those, I was on the college station while Steve was doing the play-by-play still for KHTK. And his guidance and helpful words really helped me learn the ropes of the broadcasting business as I was getting my career started. That type of friendship is one that it's hard to find in our business, and I'm one that I'm very, very grateful for. So thank you again, Steve. We discussed that in our episode. We also discussed that I hadn't missed a game in my NBA career, and lo and behold, a couple days later, I tested positive for COVID and had to drive back to Memphis from Sacramento. But that's another story for another episode. 100 episodes is a tremendous accomplishment. It shows how dedicated and how hard you work on the show and on the podcast and making it as good as it is. So keep up the great work, my friend. Here's to another 100 episodes. I'll look forward to talking to you very, very soon. Congratulations.
Hey guys, it's Leo Beers with Cowbell Kingdom. I was on the Experience the Buzz podcast, episode 62. Oh my God, I love Steve. One of the best podcasts out there. He gives you so much insight and it just relaxes you when he talks, right? He's such a pro. I love being on, and you guys should definitely subscribe, man. Again, as I said, one of the best pods out there. Highly recommend, man. For all facets of life, literally. Steve, you're the man.
Hi, my name is Troy Rousey with R5 Stitch and Print. I just wanted to take this opportunity to congratulate Steve Buzzard on his 100th episode of Experiencing the Buzz. Steve has done an amazing job creating this platform and creating the show where he's been able to showcase different entrepreneurs and business owners and different stories within our Sacramento community for everybody to listen to. We were very fortunate to be guests on the show early on where we were able to talk about our new business, R5 Stitch and Print, and share all the different things that we have to offer within our company. Thank you, Steve, for your full support. I wish you nothing but the best, and we look forward to your next 100 episodes.
Hi everyone, my name is David K. Richards. I'm the founder of Growth Public Schools, which is a local charter school here in Sacramento. growthps.org if you want to check us out. We are a K through 6 growing into K through 8th grade. And I also am a mindfulness teacher and an executive leadership coach, which is under my own name, davidkrichards.com. And it was so amazing to have the opportunity to speak with Steve. And for those of you that have listened to multiple episodes like myself, I'm sure you felt the way I felt when you were listening. I felt that way as a guest, which is that Steve is passionate. He believes in every single guest he has on. He asks great questions. He really holds a space to allow a great conversation. So I'm really enjoying the podcast. It's really awesome to have a local podcast that's promoting and helping entrepreneurs like myself here in Sacramento. So I appreciate you, Steve, and congratulations on the 100th episode. You rock. Take care.
Hi, I'm Ann Kosigian of Commit Health and Wellness, and I was on episode 73 with Steve on Experience the Buzz. We talked about all things regarding my health and wellness coaching services, from nutrition and exercise to sleeping better and stress management. Congratulations on 100 episodes, Steve. Keep it up.
Hey Steve, Scott Gilbert here from Get a Clue Store and episode number 90 of the Buzz podcast. I just wanted to say congratulations on 100 episodes of the Buzz. That's amazing. Keep up the good work.
Kelly Wheeler here, first-time caller, long-time listener of ETB. Also the author of Don't Forget Your Lunch, Diapers to Diploma Parenting Wisdom. I just wanted to say congratulations, Steve, on your 100th episode. So amazing. I feel so honored and privileged to be an inaugural guest on your show and have loved being in good company with so many amazing and inspiring Sacramentans. Of course, you have always been one of my favorite locals, and everything you touch turns to magic, Steve. And I'm not surprised with your passion and your drive that Experience the Buzz has turned into something amazing. You're inspiring and your guests are inspiring, and I can't wait to see each week on ETB who's gonna be next. So keep up the good work, Steve, and thank you for including me in this wonderful experience that you call Experience the Buzz. Love you, Steve.
Hello, I am Kate with the Tiny Details. So grateful to have been a guest on episode number 86 of Experience the Buzz. Steve, congratulations on 100 episodes, and I cannot wait to listen to the next 100.
Hey Steve, Mike Kenobi here. For the listening or viewing audience at home, I'm the producer of Experience the Buzz podcast, and we've already been collaborating for 20 episodes now, which is hard to believe, but even harder to believe the reason we're all here to say congratulations to you, Steve, on getting all the way to episode 100, which is absolutely no small feat, and I appreciate you for trusting in me to bring this amazing show to YouTube, and just how collaborative you've been along the process, and now carrying that over into this new show that we're doing. It's been very, very rewarding as a creator and inspiring as a entrepreneur, getting to hear your journey and then watch you kind of boost so many others along the way. That is once again very inspiring. It's humbling, and again, I can't say thank you enough for allowing me to join in 80 episodes in, and now again at your 100th episode. Congratulations, Steve.
All right, so there you have it. That is a wrap on the 100th episode. Again, a big thank you to Bruce and LORI Anapolsky, and also a big thank you to all of you, the guests, that chimed in with the video. We do appreciate it. We know it was kind of a monstrous task to try to get everyone to do it, and even if you didn't get to do it, that is a-okay. I'm very excited about what is going to happen from this point forward, right? We splintered off. We've done some heavy metal thunder. We've done first look. We're just trying all these ideas with my producer, Michael Kenobi, who I'm very grateful to. Want to give him a shout out for jumping on board as my producer and really taking this show to new heights. I did all the editing for the first, 72 or 73 episodes since he has come on. He definitely has made my life a lot easier and has come up with some great ideas. So that's pretty cool, and I'm just going to roll with it. But looking forward, as far as guests, we're going to continue to highlight Sacramento and the business owners, small business owners, and the entrepreneurs and the personalities. That is not going to stop. Beyond that, it's like my thought is going back to those that have been on the program and maybe doing kind of a segment or a feature that says, hey, let's catch up with so-and-so, a Tim Collin, an Anya Hall, a Jeff Levering, a Chris Meyer, a Grant Napier, a Gary Gerald. Catch up with them and see where they are at since they've been on the program. So these are ideas that are swirling around. And most of all, I want to thank you, the listener, right? You, the listener, or the video, or I should say the viewer on YouTube, for being a part of our program. So many times, I don't even know who's out there, but I'll get some occasional people that will say, hey, I listened to the program. It's like, oh, really? You do? And, that's what I love to hear. I'm just bringing the material to you because I know if you are in Sacramento and you were either born and bred here or you lived here a long time, you know how special Sacramento is. And this truly is an outlet to showcase the people and personalities that we have here in the capital city. So again, as a host of your program, I love doing it. I will continue doing it, and I look forward to serving you. That's all I got for now. Talk to you next time. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you for joining Steve this week on Experience the Buzz. Steve would love to hear from you. Leave a review or contact Steve directly with any questions at scbuzzard@gmail.com. To see the other adventures of Steve Buzzard, be sure to visit buzzardball.com.